Hi, my name's Katie Skilton. You might recognise me from various places over the years. But I'm really glad today to say that CraftStash have asked me to come in and do a little craft along with you. So really good to be here, nice to be crafting. Don't craft as much as I used to, obviously now, having a new job. Still in the creative industry, but not crafting as much, so it's really nice to come along. And I've been doing much more crafting kind of while we've been in lockdown for myself. So what I'm going to do, I just want to have a look at my iPad because I want to be able to see your comments. So if you just, oh, there I am. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to see if I can get your comments up. I'm going to switch my voice off. And then I can be able to see your comments as well. So I'm going to put this here. It's all very technical. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a look at some of the nestable dies. So Creative got lots of nestable dies. A lot of you will know I like clean and simple styles, and I find that I use nesting dies probably more than anything. If I'm crafting, I'll definitely use them. So there's a whole variety of shapes here. So I'm just going to show you some actually of what we're going to be using. So obviously they all come in the basic shapes. Actually, let me turn the camera down and then we can have a look at them while we're facing down. So let me, it'll only be a second before I make you feel sick when I'm shaking it around, and then hopefully, I'm just going to have to excuse the shadow. I'm trying to get rid of it as much as I can here, but it's a funny time of night for the light. So yeah, so we've got lots of nestables here. So if you can see here, I might have done it that way. Can you see better that way? So we've got the hearts here. Now, what we've done, we've put out hearts, but we've also put out scalloped dies to go with them. So you can see that these scallops will layer onto the heart. So if you want to create borders on them, this is a really kind of nice and simple way to do it. So you've got your hearts, your scalloped hearts, and then your hexagons and your scalloped hexagons. And I'll show you kind of how all these work together when we get going. These are my favourite at the moment. Slimline cards, really in. Yeah, tags, scallop tags. So just so you get the idea, but they work really well together, so you can layer them together. And then we've got a lot of the stitch effect ones as well, which I absolutely love. So I don't know how many cards I'm going to get through, but I'll give it a good go. And just show you kind of different ways in which we can use them. So let me get my machine out here. Right, let me move some drinks out the way because that might not end well. So let's have a look. So we'll put all this into place first of all, and what we will do is we'll get the die cutting done first of all. Right. So what I want to do first of all is make an easel card. So I want to show you how you make an easel card that kind of folds out. So then it'll fold down flat to post, but it'll pop up. So we're going to use the heart die for that. So what I'm going to do, I can't actually see the comments on this. It's been a long time. You can see it's been a long time since comments off, comments on. Oh, there we go. There we go. So what we would do is we would start by folding a piece of cardstock to create this heart. So I'm just going to fold this, and I'll do the die cutting, and then I'll move out of the way, and we'll be able to see me kind of piece it together better. So I've chosen one of the hearts here. So you can choose whatever size you like. I've gone with kind of a one on the smaller side. I'm just going to trim a piece of cardstock here. Now, to get it to fold, what you want to do, you want to slightly overlap the top of the die. So you can see there, you've got the fold of the card. I'm just going to slightly overlap it. So that's going to give us the fold. So then when you go to fold it in a minute, it'll all be in place. So you're going to be missing the top section, but that's fine. You don't actually need that bit. So you can see now you've got this. You turn it around that way. You've got this, it's going to open up like that, but that's kind of going to be your base, and you're going to fold that as well. So you're not too worried about that. So what we want to do, we're going to cut two more like that in kind of patterns. So whichever patterns you like. Let's have a look. Picked up the wrong paper there. So I'm going to go with kind of a greeny colour here. So we'll cut another heart exactly the same size because this is going to be your base. Do you know what? I'm going to turn that round and then I'm not leaving over the handle, am I? Everything's falling on the floor. So I'll place it all down here. I'll die cut it first. I'll place it all down, then we can lay it out on the mat. You can have a proper look at what I'm doing with it all. So cut another one. So this is different colour pattern paper. So you can just use card if you want to. That one down there. And then I just want a slightly smaller heart. So I'm going to do some nice grey. So let me find the smaller one. So I've just chosen, you can see here, I'll show you that. I've just chosen the next size down. If you wanted to miss one, you could do that so it's much smaller. It's just fun to play around with these. So we will pop that there. And then I think that's it. So let me move the big shot out of the way a second. I can show you how we'll piece it all together. So I'm going to lay all these pieces out. So you've got your two larger hearts there, and then you've got your smaller one. So this piece here, now you could use a scoreboard if you wanted to get it perfect, which would probably be a better idea, but you literally just fold one of the sides down there. So this is going to give you your easel part of your card, because when that stands up in a minute, that's just going to give you the stand. So we want to decorate the bottom as well, so I'm just going to line up that bottom piece there. I've got a pencil with me. I've just kind of moved my desk to where it's going to be best. I'll just use a saw tool. There we go. And I'm just going to trim those down with scissors, just so that it folds nicely in a minute. Otherwise that bit's going to get in the way. So I will look through your comments at the end of the video. I'm not very good at multitasking. I'm trying to read the comments and do this, and it's just not working very well. So let me just, my glue's a little bit dried up there. There we go. Just a little bit of glue on that one. And then we'll attach that one to the bottom. So concentrate on lining it up at the bottom. Don't worry too much about the top, because when that's folded, you're not going to see it. But that's fairly straight. And then you want to pop, actually let me turn it this way, you can see it better this way, can't you? Bit of glue on it, just on this folder box. You can use double-sided tape if you, whatever you prefer. Really, I used to use double-sided tape at the time, but I tend to go for glue more nowadays. So pop that on there, and we'll just let that dry. You can see now you've got this pop-up element. So I've got this piece here. So I've got a little stamp here. So I've just chosen a sentiment stamp that will fit on the heart. I'll just go for a birthday. I'm just going to line that up. It fits in that centre of that heart there. There we go. And then some foam pads. They were probably got fun on the floor just now. Turn this one over. So you could add as many layers to this as you want. Obviously with all these nesting dies, you can have the scallops, you get the hearts, but you get so many, depending on what shape you get quite a lot in each pack. Have a look at the hearts actually, see if I can find it here. Yeah, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hearts in there. So you can see that you can really choose the size of your card. If you wanted to make this one massive or you wanted to add loads of layers, you can do that. And that's what I love about them. Sometimes I think we get so, and there are beautiful dies around, really beautiful, but we get so caught up in buying kind of the pretty designs and all the florals and the butterflies. Sometimes it's nice to just go back to the basics and actually realise how much they can do. So you can see there that that's giving you your easel card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a bit of a, here's one I made earlier now, because you don't need to see me add the flowers on really, but here's one I made earlier. So there, once I've stamped it, I've added some flowers on, And you can see that stands up there. Now if you wanted to, you could put a little strip along here and that would hold it in place, and then you just unhook it when you want to post it. But the beauty of these are, obviously when you go to post them, you're not paying extra for postage because they fold down quite flat. These would be nice. You could even do these in scrapbooking if you wanted to. So you could pop that down on your scrapbook page, glue the bottom down, and then when that opens up, you could put a little message in there. So really nice with your journaling and things as well. So that's the first idea. So next one, I think we'll go on to the circles. So for this one, I'm going to use all the stitched circles. So I want 6 circles, and I've tried to pull out the ones that I need so that I'm not rummaging through the packs. I think I'm actually become organised since I've been gone. So what I've done is I've just chosen loads of really pretty colours here. Got this little peek there of what we're going to do, and I want to kind of layer all of these together. So we are going to start with pink. We're going to make a rainbow actually. So I'm going to start with the pink colour. So you could do more traditional kind of rainbow colours. I've chosen to go with a pastel rainbow. So I'm just going to trim all these down first of all. So rather than waste anything, just cut around them. I don't know about you, but I found, well, I've been in much more. I've been making stuff. I've been really back into making things again. I just kind of feel the need to want to make things all the time. It's nice to just have a play around, really, but sometimes it's nice to just get your basics out like this and play with what you've already got. So let me, right, final one. So I'm going to bring my big shot in again a second. So again, I'll do the same as what I did before. I'll do all the die cutting. And you've got a bit of a glare coming off that, haven't you? Oh, it's my spotlight on my ceiling, so I can't really take that one out. So what we'll do, let's start with the largest one. Actually, we could do a couple at a time here. So we'll pop that one on. Can you put that one on as well? Yeah. So these are the stitched circles. They've got a lovely stitched effect around them as well. You could use just your basic circles. But again, you could actually use this to make a much larger rainbow. If you use the really large circles, you get a really nice large one as well. Just the end of that one. That's all right. It's going to be fine. We'll cut around that one. If I can find my scissors. Had it just hanging off the plate. This is what happens when you try and squeeze too many on it once. So pink, blue, purple. Let's move the circles we've already cut so I'm not getting them mixed up. Oh, sorry, that's a nasty noise. And then pop these in. If you wanted to, actually, you could use your inks on this instead, couldn't you? So you could, if you wanted to really kind of go back to basics, you could just use white cardstock and use your ink colours. That would look really nice, actually, if you added water to it. Give it a really nice effect. Actually, we're going to do that in a minute. We're going to make a stencil with one of them. So, final one. Right, let's move this one out of the way. So we'll take our circles. So you can see now we've got kind of all the consecutive sizes, and we're going to layer these together. So I'm just going to glue them on top of each other. Don't need too much glue, otherwise it squelches out the side. Just pop these on. Quite a nice one to do with the children, actually, because it's half term here this week, so this would be quite nice. The children could do this. They'd have quite a nice time. Sorry, I don't know who said that then, but I'm sure I just got a comment that said I love a speedy crafter. That's me. I can't do anything slowly. It's horrendous. I try and slow down when I'm doing videos. I just talk and craft faster and faster. It's the excitement. Right, so finally pop on the purple one. So just let that dry a second. Now, I've got my paper trimmer here, so bear with me. I'm just going to bring this in. I'm trying to fit it all in. It's not the easiest of things, is it? Whatever, how much space you've got. I'm just going to... Sorry, I had to go through quite a few layers. Cut it in half. So now we've got the two rainbows there. So I really like these colours, but I do like pastel colours. So what I've done, I've taken just a white card here. Now, what did I do with my sentiment just now? See, this is what happens when I say I become organised. I haven't become organised. Oh, there we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of glue these rainbows. So one's going to go down, one's going to go up. So I just want to make sure they've got an even space in between, or kind of on the edges of the cards. It's nice to have it so that it's all even. So talking of which, let's just lower that down. So we'll pop this like this. So just grab some glue on these. That's it. We'll line these up. So what we're going to do, we're going to cover the join in a minute. So even actually, if you've cut it with a pair of scissors and it's not that straight, you're going to hide that part anyway. It's one of those cards, whatever you make, you can always find a way to hide the wibbly bits or the bits that have gone wrong. So that's those. Actually, what I wanted to do, I wanted to use the star die as well. Didn't get that one out. Let me just see if I can find it. So I love the way you've got such a variety of sizes here. Let me show you actually. So I only want to use that really, really tiny star, but look at the difference in size on these compared to like the largest one. Teeny one out. If you have been, well, I'd like to see anything you make because I'm quite nosy really, but if you've been making anything with like the nesting dies or the shape dies, I'd love to see what you've made with them. It'd be really good to see. But I'd just like to see what you've been making, or just tell me what you've been up to really. Quite nice to have some human interaction. So I'm just going to cut some of these stars. So that's my iPad. Your comments falling down. Such a professional setup I have here at home. So just going to take some of these. So I think I'll do 5. Like a lot of people, for some reason, I always have to have an odd number of things. For some reason, I just think it looks better when you're doing something like stars or hearts or gems or stones. I don't know, I just think an odd number looks better. That's just another one of my weird ways. I'm trying to die cut carefully now so that I it doesn't all fall down and I'll lose you again. 3. Actually, what else has everyone been making? Has anyone started like learning to do new things while they've been home a lot more? It seems to make you want to try like new crafts and new hobbies, and I've tried all sorts of things now. I just get a kind of idea in my head and think, oh, I'll give that a go. The only thing I haven't tried is baking. That'd be a bit of a disaster, but I might even get to the point where I'm going to try that soon. So, right, we've got our 5 stars. So I'll move this one out of the way. And what I've done, so for the sentiment, I just printed this off on my computer. You colour my world. I actually used my computer, typed it out, and then I used one of the slimline stitch dies. I think it's the smallest one, to just trim around the sentiment. I just think those stitches just give it a really nice finish. It seems to make such a difference. So I'm going to use foam pads with this because I just think when some things are standing up higher, it seems to make a difference. It gives it a real boost to just add some dimension to it. So we'll pop these off. make sure, yeah, it's upside down, so make sure I stick my sentiment on. And then centrally, I'm just going to do that, and that will cover now all the joins in that rainbow. And then just finally, we're just going to add those stars on, just kind of pop them around, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. So sometimes I quite like cards with not standard sentiments. So obviously you get your happy birthday cards and your happy Christmas cards, but sometimes actually I just like a card with a nice sentiment on it, even if it's not anything in particular, and they're quite handy to have to just send to people if and when you need to. So there's the stars. So that is the second one we've done. So this one is just using your nesting dies, literally to just layer them. Really simple cardstock. Like I say, you could just ink these if you want to. You could use paints. I think the children would like to have a go at that one as well. So that's the next one. So our next one, let's do a shaker card. I'll do the stencil one last because I'm going to get in a mess with that one. We might as well get in a mess last of all. So let me pop this one out of the way and just pull in all the bits that I need. I've kind of got a table then beside me. I've just literally spread around the house just for this. So let's take the big shot again. So this time I'm going to use the octagons, and we're going to use, first of all, I'm going to use the, bear with me, I just need to trap that under. I'm going to use the largest one. So I'm just going to cut this from some pink patterned paper. So this is going to be our base. There's something about shaker cards, isn't there, that just, they never fail to amuse. Pop this one through. Put that one to the side, and then we want to use, so we need a piece for the backing. So I think, I'm just going to check I've got the right size, yeah. So I'm going to use some nice flowery paper for the backing. And we also want the frame. Let me just trim this paper down. This one first. So this is now the next size down hexagon, then the scallop, sorry, octagon, the next size down and the scallop, so it's going to layer on there perfectly. But this is also going to be the same size as the frame, because this is going to sit as your back into your shaker card and ensure no pieces escape. So to create our frame, I'm going to die cut this one again, the same. And then just something a bit different, because obviously you could use the smaller size octagon to make the frame inside this one. What I thought I would do, and I was just playing around, is use the scalloped octagon inside, just to give it some nice pattern in there. So if we layer that one, so just make sure it's even. You could use tape if you wanted to just hold it down. Down. Pull this through. So obviously you've got all these bits left, so keep all of those as well, because you can use those for something else, can't you? So let's take this. So let's have a look at, oh, actually I've just remembered, sorry, I need to show you how, I am done with that now. If I move this, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, so I've got the shape of the octagon, which means that I can just trim around it with my scissors, and actually it's die cut it enough that the scissors will just go through. I've lost connection actually. Can anyone see me? Can you let me know if you can still see me? I can still see it recording, but on the one I'm watching, I can't see anything. See if I can pause it and play it. Can you still see me? Oh, you can see me. Perfect. Thank you. Right, so now I've got the octagon. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, most of it's going to be hidden anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our frame and we're going to stick the acetate to it. Now again, you can use double-sided tape for this. It'll dry quick, obviously instantly if you use double-sided tape. I'm just going to use a bit of glue. And what I'll do is I can set this aside while we do the rest in a second. Now, you don't need much glue for that, otherwise it's going to slide all over the place. So let's just pop that in place. You can always tidy the edges afterwards if you've got a little bit of acetate that hangs out. So now you've got your window. So that's your window. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our normal octagon and also our window. And you need to create a frame using foam pads around the edges. You need to make sure you've got absolutely no gaps whatsoever, because otherwise your sequins are going to escape. And the amount of times I've done that and picked up a card and they've all kind of fallen out. They seem to sneak out of anyway, even if you don't have any gaps, they seem to get out. You need to really make sure this if you're using glitter. So obviously the finer you're using. What you actually could do with this, so you get the, obviously I used the tiny star just now, you've got a tiny heart, and if you use the smallest one of your nesting dies, you could almost make your own confetti. So you could cut it from your glitter card or any colour card, and you could make your own. Sometimes if you've got little leftover bits, it looks nice in these. And now you could do this with foam pads, but obviously it just takes longer because you've got to really line them up then. So last one. There we go. So now I normally take off the backing first, because I find if I put the sequins on and then try and take off the backing, they all start jumping everywhere. So we'll take off this first, and then I can just lay it down quite easily afterwards. We'll just use a pokey tool to get all those bits away. So make sure you get every bit as well, because even that's enough to make the sequins escape. So I've just got a kind of random selection. So what I've done is I've just chosen some sequins that match the patterned paper really. I'm just going to sprinkle a few of each colour. Some pink, different shapes as well. Yellow. Try and get a mixture of the big and the small pieces. Make sure they're flat as well, because otherwise you get a lump in your the back of it. Turquoise. And then I actually thought I'd put in some little beads as well. Again, just make sure that, see, now my beads are stuck to it, and as soon as I move my hand, they're all going to jump. Nope, all right. So once you've done that, as I say, make sure they're kind of flat and spread out a bit, so you're not going to get a big lump of them. And then we just need to line this up. So I'm just going to take one of the edges and then give that a really good press around there. And then you've got your shaker element there. So we'll pop that one onto the scalloped octagon, because I think it sets it off really nicely. Set that to the side. Now obviously you want this to stand up, so I would do exactly the same as what we did for the easel card earlier. So let me just find my largest die. So again, just take a piece of white card, as long as it's quite thick, heavy card, doesn't matter really what it is. We'll pop that, let's trim that down a bit. So that's just going to overlap the top again. So in case you missed the beginning, I'll just show you. So we'll lay the card down so you can see you've got your flap there, and then just overlap the top of the die so you're not cutting through that bit there. And then sandwich it through. Just make sure that's lined up, otherwise we're going to a wonky card. That's it. And run this through, and this is how you get your lovely patterned card. Sorry, I've got a really slippery mat here. I should have stuck it to the desk or something. You can see that cuts through those two layers. Put down. Then you've got your card, and then this one's slightly, that's the one I made earlier. This one's slightly, so I would just stick it there to the base. So just add some glue on here. Pop that down like that. So I would let that dry before you try and make it stand up. But you can see you've got your shaker. I just love a shaker card. Anyway, so I get distracted. So here I've just added a little stamp. So I had a cute little rabbit stamp that I'd coloured in ages ago. I like stamping and just colouring them in. And then when it comes to making, I've always got one ready. So I've got a little bunny stamp there. So I've just popped that one in. So you could pop a little animal on there. You could put a sentiment on there if you wanted to. But I'll do that one later. I'll add a little something to that. But yeah, really cute. So that's the shaker card. So finally, I've left this one to last because it's messy. And if anyone knows me, I don't really do messy, and when I do, it's actually really messy, which is why I don't do messy very much. So what we're going to do with this one, we are going to use our circles, but we're going to use them in a slightly different way. So I'm going to take a bit of stencil film here, and I'm actually just going to trim it down a bit. Sorry, I've got a really squeaky paper trimmer, haven't I? So what we'll do is we're going to cut a hole in that one. I'm also going to cut a frame, so I'll show you how to do a frame. Turn it this way actually, because otherwise I'm going to knock my camera over. So let's pop that on there. So this is just stencil film, so I'm going to be able to ink through this. Show you that in a second. And then to create a frame, I'm going to take two of the circles and then layer them together. So I'm going to create a lovely glitter card frame. So we'll pop that on there, and then we'll put two circles in. So you just want to make sure they're evenly spaced, so you've got the same size between them. Now, you'd probably be better off taping this down, or cutting them separately. So cut the large circle first and then cut the small circle. But I'm just going to go for it. So let's cut those. So again, now it's giving you another option. So not only you got your different shaped circles, but now you've actually also got a circle frame as well. So just by using your two circles, you've got a circle frame, and obviously you've got your leftover circle there that you can use at a separate point. Finally, just going to cut a word out, because I just want to pop a word onto this one finished. So I've got the word celebrate here. Pop that one on. I'm just going to cut that from black cardstock. But you could actually stamp, if you wanted to stamp the word onto this, you could do that. So move this machine out the way. And I'm going to take my white card. So what I've done here, I did have another piece of white card. Bear with me, I need to grab some white cards, just 2 secs. card, sorry, I just realised I needed a piece of card and also some low tack tape for this. So I'm just going to cut this into a square. So I think I'll do, we'll do it slightly larger. You can always trim it down if need be. So I'm going to do a 6 by 6 square, but we can trim it down. If I get any inky edges then we can do it. So I've obviously got inky hands now, look, because I've got it all over the place. But if we just, we'll pop this down anyway. You get the idea. Yours just won't have inky fingerprints all over it. So I'm just going to take this down so that it doesn't move. Ooh, it's not going to want to stick. So I don't know if you're like me. I'm one of these people that always thinks, you know what, I won't bother taping it down. And then I have to have kind of 5 attempts to try and get it right because it keeps moving. So I'm slowly learning that actually it's easier to take the long bit to start with. So I'm just going to take some Distress Oxide and just, so I'm going to use squeezed lemon and picked raspberry. I'm literally going to, I'm just going to be careful as I go around the edge because my tape doesn't seem to want to stick very much. I'm just going to add this, and then we'll take the ink as well. So obviously you could do this with any shape. So if you wanted a heart-shaped background, you could do it with the heart. So any of the nesting dies, you can create these, I mean, you could create it from other dies as well, actually. You know, even intricate dies you can create stencils from. But these are really good for just creating backgrounds, even if you wanted to do like a moon or a sun or something. I'm just going to blend that in. So let me just grab the yellow. Just blend that a bit. Now what I want to, oh, there's a little bit there, I'm not happy with that bit. What I want to do before I take off thing, I'm just going to get a little bit of water and just kind of splash it on, because what I want to do is lift some of the ink off. I've got an old cloth here somewhere. If I just press down on that, what it's going to do, it's going to remove that ink. So you're going to get kind of a nice effect. So we'll take that off, and then you have got, so you could leave it like that, you've got your circle, or you could cover it. So I quite like it with a frame around it, just so it's quite pretty with a frame. Bit of sparkle. So if you add frame, a tiny bit of glue. And just pop that so that it's not looking at the edges. There we go. So I've got the word here, so I just make sure the bits are out of there. I'm just going to pop some glue on my hand for this. I don't have days and days of being covered in glue on my hands anymore. It's quite rare for me to have glue on the back of my hands now. There was a time when I constantly had glue on the back of my hands. I used to find it in my car and all sorts, but it's like a lifetime ago now. So I'll pop that in here. And you've got the kind of celebrate there. So what I did with that one, once I'd finished it, to just obviously tidy it up and get rid of the inky fingerprints, but I just backed it onto black and then onto a white card, and I just thought it was really kind of, it's just one of those cards, it pops. You could do lots of different backgrounds with this, but you try it with your heart stencils and your stars. Maybe if it was Christmas, you could use like a Christmas tree one and do a Christmas tree background. That would be really pretty. It's just quite a nice way to use your inks and just play around with it. So let me just get all the cards that we have done tonight. It's that one, that one, that one,